Alright guys, exciting day has finally come. I have acquired a proper rooftop tent, as you can see there in the background. I have my ladder rack I built a while ago in here in my garage. I'm gonna make some moves and modify this to number one, lower it, and number two, accept the rooftop tent I got. Alright, first impressions of out of the box. It's like a normal tent. Apparently, there's railing. Goes in these four little holes. They did have a little bit of cosmetic damage right here from, I guess, shipping. And other than that, I'm gonna get this unzipped. I couldn't get the cardboard out from underneath it. It's about 110 pounds, so it's a little difficult for one person to maneuver. Let me get it set up. All right, so I got it opened up. Kind of have this little, I guess, awning cover on. And then inside, I guess is all the rest of the goodies. So a really heavy tent cover, aluminum ladder, and I think those are the rails that bolt to those four holes. These are some stakes, and then I believe these are the window bars that go on the sides of the windows to kick them out. Alright, so I took a break from playing with the tent and chopped 14 inches off of all four posts of the ladder rack. I think it gives it a better stance, and you can see that by the time the rooftop tent is on, it'll still be below my Jeep roof line. I actually like it, like this a little bit better because this is a convenient height to stow stuff instead of being up above your head. Now what I'm going to do is mock up some angle, and I want to have angle iron welded to the base at the insert height of this 2x2 post so that it disperses the weight. You know, if you have the rack itself, you know, 100-pound tent and 300-400 pounds of people inside and gear, it's gonna be a lot. So I'm gonna reinforce it so the weight is not only dispersed through the stake pockets but also through the bed rail. So I look forward to that. All right, got the trailer hooked up, moved it back towards my garage. Got a couple of these plates made. They're 10 inches long out of a 2x2 angle. They fit in there pretty good. I got 4 of them cut. The front ones split the difference, and the back ones, being they're so close, and I have to worry about the tailgate cutting. I can't go too far past the upright here, but I think it's going to make a good bit of difference. I'm getting ready to tack these in place, so I make sure that I have proper fitment and that they go on and off easily. Then I'll clean them up, get them painted, and hopefully put the tent back on and see what it looks like. Alright, got everything welded in off all corners. Got it over here on the scrap part of the box. Getting ready to, just gonna paint it black so it matches mostly. The truck bed coating burnt off in some areas. So for now, just to keep it from rusting, I'm just gonna paint it kind of a matte black, and I'm also gonna try to touch up some of these other spots. Like there's one, there's another one. Some of these scrapes I have from moving it around. So that's what I'm gonna do next. All right, so I have my ladder rack back on, and I have the tent mounted to that. Stake pockets all painted up. It is using the original bars that I had welded on about a year ago, so they're pretty far off center. There's not a lot of support in the front, about 2 foot, and then the back has quite a bit. So I'm actually going to add a third cross member towards the front of this, and then I'll just grab some extra mounting hardware. I'm getting ready to open this up, do a full setup, show you guys what the full tent looks like, and go from there. All right guys, here she is all set up. I installed everything except for the overhang tie downs. This overhang for the entryway just it's kind of loose, so it doesn't look taut. You have a tie down point here, and you basically just stake it on both sides, and then it is not going anywhere. So you got overhangs on all 4 sides. 2 doors, one on the overhang. This could also be a door if you installed the ladder on this side, and then you have your 2 side windows, and then at the very top you can see that vent. It's kind of smushed up. It has a heavy piece of plastic that you can mold that vent into shape, but when you pack it, it just gets smushed down. Here's the other side here. All installed and ready to go. It is a bit wrinkly. It's about 20 degrees out, so it's kind of cold. I would assume that the warm weather and maybe a couple full uses would pull some of these wrinkles out. So let's take a peek inside real quick. All right, very easy, very sturdy to climb into. There's really nothing to it. And then once you're inside, of course, you have your awesome rooftop tent. Not too fancy. I plan on doing a few mods to hold boots and shoes on the steel bars, as well as maybe some LED lighting and probably a fan. But has a nice thick foam mattress with a zip cover. It's about 2 inches. It's very dense. It's not like a sponge. It's something you can definitely sleep on and not feel anything underneath it. I might put a pillow top mattress cover on this, depending on what it's like after sleeping with it over a couple overnights. There's 4 little accessory pockets. You have some of your tie downs for the windows. Of course, I don't have anything unzipped. And there you can see the vents on both sides. So this is pretty much it. I'm gonna get it disassembled, and I am going to weld on the brackets for the underside. And I also might make a swing out that mounts to this rear piece and then swings out to support the underside. So I'm not solely relying on a aluminum ladder to do so, but time will tell. Stay tuned. All right, so back at the house, got the rooftop tent stowed back there, and I kind of forgot to film some of this, but basically I have the 3rd cross member added in, and it's painted up. You know, for maximum results, make sure to paint it in sub-freezing weather and you'll get great results. So got that, and then now I got to figure out how I'm gonna get a swing out. I think I'm gonna mount it to this upright right here, and then it's gonna be vertical. It'll hinge, and then it'll have a runner that runs the length of this, and then it pivots out. So might not make sense now. I'm gonna try to mock something up, and probably the hardest part is gonna be able to get a hinge that I can weld that will support a decent amount of weight. All right, guys, it's been a couple days since the last clip, and I'm working on my swing out arm for the rooftop tent support. I do have a lot of it mocked up already. It's pretty cold out, so I haven't been filming much. Basically just some bolts, and then a nut for all thread, and then a bolt into the nut for the all thread. I did strip the zinc coating with muriatic acid, and I'm concerned a little bit about how this is gonna swing, because my bolt is a little crooked, so I don't want it to swing down, I want it to swing up. So in order to combat that angle, I've already got it cocked a little bit, so that hopefully when it does swing out, that it is the same height as the rack. And then of course I'm gonna have that bolt, which is gonna thread in and out to act as an adjustment to level the tent and also give it some support. I'll eventually have a plate or bar of some sort on top of the nut so that it has a much larger surface area to support the tent instead of a little quarter-sized piece. So basically I'm gonna burn in these top little corners on this top piece and then test the swing out and see how close we are to level. All right, guys, here's the final product of the swing out support for the tent. I have it fully welded in, painted up matte to match the rest of the rack. Then here you can see basic function, pivots, swings out, and then you're gonna have the adjustable bolt, goes up and down to level the tent, swings out freely. Pretty simple. I'm either gonna zip tie it to the frame, or I'm gonna use one of those Velcro straps for like cords and cables, so I can have a reusable way to kind of tie that down. I don't think it'll clank if I have it tight. And there you can see just the washers, the bolts, everything in, how that worked out. And then last, piddling around in the winter, made this inside. It's basically, I guess, a leveling block. So if the trailer is offset right to left, I I have 3 separate tiers that I can put the tires on. I would hate to think it would be that crooked, but you never know. And then if I don't need it, it can function as a block, or I guess in theory to disperse weight if the ground is really soft. Alright guys, that is it for this video. Thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, and subscribe.